Hey, you guys. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, so I'm just going over to grab my guest. So give me 1 minute. I hope you all are having a great day. You are in for a treat over here on my channel. Let me grab my guest. And I was planning to go live, but I was gonna record it at first. And then I was like, let me go ahead and just do it on a live. And hopefully they won't have a fit that I'm over here doing a recording. So stay with me. But again, I'm Garlinda Price, and I am the agency owner. Let me sit y'all down for a second. Of Fusion Insurance Group. And here's my guest. I love coming to you all to do these videos. Hold on. So you guys, I'm just admitting my guest. So, look who's here. So I'm so excited. Let me look on my phone and make sure you can see us well. But I'm Garlinda Price. I'm the agency owner of Fusion Insurance Group. And I was going to record it, but I decided to go live. And so I had a conversation with this esteemed gentleman this morning. And I said, I want to interview you. So I was just making sure my phone was working properly. So how are you today, Caleb Price?
Good, how about you?
Y'all, he already knows how his mom is, so I'm not going to try to be anybody other than I am. This is my son in whom I'm well pleased. I know that's in the word of God. We heard God say that to Jesus. He came down on him as a dove, and he said, and he told the disciples, this is my son in whom I'm well pleased. I feel the same way, like now I'm not God and he's not Jesus. Right. What's up, Caleb? What's up, C Money?
Nothing much.
Y'all, he's reserved on camera, but listen, this is my cut up buddy. We cut, and so is my daughter. And there's a dog running around there somewhere. We all cut up so bad, right? But when it comes to business, we're about that money. And so I just thought it would be really cool to interview Caleb because he is a 22-year-old college graduate, D1 University, right? He's always been a scholar student. And so he can go do anything. He can go get a job anywhere that he wants. He's worked for my firm for the last, has it been 3 or 4 years, Caleb?
Yeah, about 3 years.
And I tell everybody he made it. If he can make it with his mom, he can make it anywhere. Because I'm not easy to work for, am I, Caleb, as your mom, right? Because I treat him like he's my business partner, not like he's my son, right? But after hours, we wrestle, we play, we have a good time. So this is all about Caleb, but I'm Garlinda Price, and I'm the agency owner of Fusion Insurance Group. As you all know that you've been following me, I've been sharing with you all the good, the bad, and the ugly of the insurance industry. And the excellent, right? And so today, this is one of those excellent things. Caleb has seen me as an entrepreneur his whole life, right? So 22 years. Now, he may not remember the first 5 years because he was a kid, right? But he knows that all his life, I've owned a business, right? Or businesses. And so, Caleb, I want to interview you as a young person. So can you tell them just a little bit about yourself? I didn't tell you I was going to ask you that question, but can you tell them a little bit? Anything you want to share, doesn't have to be something specific.
That's cool. Yeah, so 22, I graduated from Campbell University last May with a major inside of business management. What's that I do? Trying to think. Yeah, business management. I recently became became licensed in insurance. I think it was in November, so last month, November. And yeah, that's really been what's going on recently.
And what are some of your hobbies like? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Okay, I like to eat, I like to make food.
Y'all probably can't tell he likes to eat because he's all muscle. Oh my gosh, he is a lean, mean fighting machine, but he does love to eat.
Yeah, I like to listen to music. I like to make music. I like to make beats. What's I do? Let's see. I like to read. I like to read my Bible. I read my Bible and like books about business. that too. And really just have fun. That's really about it when it comes to my hobbies. Play
I
games.
love it. So he's a 20. He is. I don't want to say typical because he's not typical to me. He's amazing to me, right? But he loves all the stuff that other young people would love to do, except for the trouble part of it. What's your favorite book you're reading right now, besides your Bible?
My Bible. I like the Supernatural Wealth Transfer book with Dr. Lika Scott, or maybe her.
Mm-hmm. I love it. And so then he's also reading that, and then the Book of Enoch, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we laugh all the time about the descriptions of the angels. I was like, I would pass out if I saw something cover the eyes. Oh my gosh. So Caleb, I did tell you I was gonna ask you this question. So Caleb shared with you all that he has a degree in business management. And he did go to Campbell University and graduated this past May, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
this past May. And so when he was in college, he was actually approached by an insurance company. I think was it Globe Life or
Yep.
something like that.
What?
And so he was like, Mom, the guy told me I should sell insurance. And he was like, I'm not selling insurance. Didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
And then I think another time, but somebody else mentioned to you that you should consider insurance. Who was that?
A teacher who, yeah, teacher. I think her name is Miss Osborne, but she was a teacher that I met at like a business. What's the word for it? Like a
Like
group
a
meeting.
job fair?
No, it wasn't like a job fair. More like a get like people from business school would have like one like lunch to get together, like talk to each other and stuff, communicate,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like that. So I talked to her. I was introduced to her and she was telling me about insurance and how I was looking into it.
Okay. Now, why did she bring? I don't think I've asked you this question. Why did she suggest you should look into insurance? Was she in insurance?
I feel like she was. No, was she? I don't know. She wasn't not. I feel like she was in insurance, but she was saying that insurance is a pretty good field and that's a growing field. And she was saying how there's not a lot of minorities inside of insurance, and she was saying that I should look into it because
Awesome. Because you're a minority. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. But that's a great point. I was just talking to a young lady that called me from Indiana that has her license. So shout out to her. I won't call her name out, but she was telling me how her mom told her when she said, Mom, I'm going to get my insurance license. Her mom said to her, well, that is a Caucasian man's business, right? Because that in the past, that's really who you saw selling insurance, building an insurance business. And so we are literally 1 to 3% of the population are people of color, right? And so I was sharing with Caleb when he graduated, you should go into business. Like now, of course, every mom wants their kids to go into business with them. That's normal, right? But what I shared with Caleb, and he can attest to this, is I said, you need to pray about it and ask the Lord, is he leading you to go into business or is he leading you? What's funny?
So I'll think about what about what. I'll think about after that. Let's go. You might say it. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, okay. Okay, but if I don't, you say it, right? So I said, Caleb, you want to be in prayer about whether or not the Lord is telling you to come into business with me or if he's telling you to go get a job, because I never want to direct his path because our steps are ordered by the Lord, right? But I think, did I threaten you in any way? Because you're smiling. What did I miss? What part of the story did I leave out?
I feel like it was. I think. Let me see. I can't remember. I'm afraid about it too. I didn't hear anything from the Lord. So and I told you that too. And so I think I decided after that just to go ahead and go for it and see what happens.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So I think I asked him a couple times, what Jesus say? What
Yeah.
the
Right.
Lord say? And he said that he hadn't heard anything. And I think I may have told him to fast. I think we said, well, go on the fast. And maybe that was about something else. I don't know. But I know we've done a couple of fasts together. What'd you say?
No, I did fast. I forgot. I think
Okay.
I guess myself. But yeah, I did that too.
And so when he didn't hear from the Lord, but just to go back, so Caleb was started working with me 3 years ago. So he was my transaction coordinator with my real estate firm. So you all know that I've owned a real estate firm for the last 16 years. This is my third full-time month as an insurance agency. So I'm not focused on real estate anymore. And so Caleb has been with me, longer than that, but as a real employee getting paid 3 years ago. And so he was my transaction coordinator. He would help with everything real estate related, make phone calls. And then we were going to do government contracts, right? Because somebody was like, you should use your real estate company to go after some of the money that the government has available to you. When I tell you, Caleb and I would be on the phone talking to everybody and their mama, and if you saw a government dollar, we saw a government dollar. But he was so faithful. Oh my gosh. And so as he was making the calls, we were calling total strangers, weren't we, Caleb?
Yeah.
And what were we calling them about? Like, what were some of the conversations and encounters that we had and the things that you had to do leading up to your getting your license?
Okay. We were trying to basically like come persuade, let's say like apartment complex to lease out, let's say, I don't know, 15 rooms to soldiers or anybody that maybe the government might have like a station or stay in an area, and see if they had dates and get the pricing, get the square footage of the rooms, and get all the information and convey it back to the government. Wait for the government to respond back to us to see if that's what they want or not. But that might take a month, 3 months, 4 months.
If we get a call back at all.
Right, yeah. He might not get a call back at all. So
oh my gosh. So Caleb was the administrative side of that. When I say he was the brains of the operation, because he understood the math in us putting the what do you call it? The request for proposals to get the RFPs together. He was the person making all the phone calls. We were both the one looking for the contracts. And so he just does everything with excellence. But not only that, he's very disciplined, right? And so I feel like that's a gift that you have to have, or a trait you have to have coming into insurance, is you got to be disciplined. So when I said, Caleb, I think you should consider selling insurance, he was like, Mom, but that's calling people, because he comes across the camera as shy. Y'all, he never stops talking, ever. I think he talks in his sleep. Matter of fact, he does talk in his sleep. Right? So he's reserved in appearance, but he's not reserved. And so I said, well, Caleb, look at it from this perspective, because we're talking about why a 22-year-old college graduate has chosen for now to sell life insurance and to enter the insurance industry. And so Caleb said, well, I'm going to have to call people I don't know. And he just walked right into what I had to say. I said, well, we were doing government contracts. Do we know any of those people? No, ma'am. Did we, Caleb? Did we know any of those people?
No.
No. And then when we were calling people, literally asking them to, it was an apartment complex that we were negotiating with, and we needed them to send us we needed to have them sign our contract, agreeing to subcontract. He was responsible for that. So he got people to agree to things they had never considered agreeing to in order to potentially work with us on a contract. Correct, Caleb?
You're right.
So I said, tell me, what's the difference? You're calling people that ask for insurance information. You're calling them, you don't know them either. So there was no way out of it. He walked himself into it. So you agreed to get your license. How long did you feel like it was a hard class? Did you feel like it was a hard test? How did you feel about the exam?
I feel like the class was not worried.
We're talking about the life insurance class and exam. He took it online. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I feel like the class was not hard, but it took a while. So I'll say it's long. And then the test was hard. For me, it was hard on the test.
So, Caleb, it's 20 hours was the class. It was not long.
Oh, wait. I'll talk about the one you get. I'll talk about that one.
License coach.
No, not that one. I'm talking about the actual test, like the state
exam. Okay. No, I'm talking about license coach. Oh, yeah. Did you think the license coach was hard? Did you think that was long?
I feel like, let me see. License coach itself, like, it's like maybe 9 chapters. So it took a while to get to all 9 chapters. The test, though, wasn't super hard.
Okay. So what would you recommend to anybody that's listening, like a 22, whether they're 22, younger or older? Because on our team, y'all, we have several young people. Like Caleb is 22. Someone else came into the industry when they were 19 that's doing extremely well, or 18, I think. And then there's another young man, he didn't even finish high school and he's doing well, right? So what would you tell them? Study-wise, reference license coach is super important if they're not licensed and getting ready to take or want to take the class.
Right. The license coach, what's something I would say to write notes along the way. Like you say a chapter, write notes on the chapter, read those notes a little bit. Do that, basically repeat that for the entire process. That's what I would say would help out a lot when it comes to like taking a test for it. We're taking a test on license coach.
So rather than just trying to read it and think you got it.
Yeah, right.
And I told Caleb, everybody's study, the way they study is different. I have to basically rewrite all the information. Is that your study style, Caleb, or what do you think is your learning style?
The same one as yours. You had to rewrite everything too. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So he got through the class. He got through the class. He passed his exam. He's now a licensed state North Carolina licensed agent, and also licensed. What other states you licensed in?
South Carolina, and Kentucky.
Okay, South Carolina, Kentucky. So now this is his, I believe, second week on the phone, right?
Oh, I think it started in about second
So a
week.
week and a half. Okay. So he's been on the phones about a week and a half. Tell the people about it. The truth. Don't make up nothing and you ain't gotta lie.
What's called yeah, so far pretty good. I haven't had any sales yet, but I've had a few call backs. I'll call back today, so hopefully I get a sale today or two sales. But I got cursed at, I've been yelled at, stop calling them. What's happened? Been told that they already have insurance, and we try to offer them something or tell them about we offer a senior life, then they hang up on you. So there's a lot of different things that can happen on the phone.
And you've endured it with a smile, like, because I don't curse at Caleb, I don't raise my voice at Caleb, but he's never been that child where I had to do that either. And I'm just not around here cursing people out. So when he told me somebody cursed him out, now y'all, I'm an agency owner and I am his business partner, but I'm his mom. Boy, I wanted to say, give me that lead call. About to call, find out what's going on over here because we got some problems. It sounds like. But I can't call Caleb's leads and go off because they went off on him. But how did it make you feel as a new agent? Were you discouraged? Did you want to defend yourself? Like, how did you feel as a new agent and not used to having been spoken to that way? How'd you feel?
Not discouraged. Did want to discourage myself, but I remember that to keep things real, like keep things very very professional. What's called, but you're not discouraged though. But I was more so just shocking the part that they requested for the information, but then they act like they, I don't know. Some people do forget, honestly, too. But to get hostile like that over me asking the question is wild to me.
So he's had to endure, and so would you agree that it's more mental than it is physical?
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm. Hold on one second. Let me tell. I apologize. We had a men's conference this weekend, and so the person is on their way to pick up some of the chairs and stuff. So I share that with Caleb because I'm coaching him, and I'm like, Caleb, this is the gridiron, right? This is where the tough part is when you see people posting how much money they're making in insurance or how much money they're making in selling life and health insurance and what the business is like, and they only show you the glamorous side. Nobody ever tells you the part about them getting cussed out and hung up on. Right. And this is a young person. This is a 22-year-old. And so as an older person, you may be used to being cussed out. I'm used to having been cursed out because I've been in business a long time. So now for it to happen to your business partner and your son, it's like he has to work on his mental, but I have to work on mine because I have the lead. I'm like, sorry, you don't want it with me. No, I'm joking. So this is the question I told you I was going to ask you. And I know we talked about other stuff, but why did you, after you didn't hear from the Lord, you were like, okay, well, he hasn't said yes, he hasn't said no. I'm going to give it a try. Why did you decide to give life insurance a try?
Oh, I thought I'd give it a try because, well, like you said too about government contracting, we weren't seeing any money from it yet, and
Mm-hmm.
with that, I want to try something. Well, not try something out, but see if insurance would be the thing to do and work out. So, was it? I just really just prayed about, I guess, if insurance was for me, that I would pass the test of insurance. And I think I took the test on my state exam, my fourth try. I did pass it, so I feel like this, I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be at. So like,
Amen. I love it. So you feel like the Lord answered your prayers, like, okay, if I'm supposed to do this, then you'll bless me here. And if I'm not, then I'll go ahead and I'll go do something else.
right.
Okay. And then what is another reason you wanted to come into insurance?
Because I've heard or seen that you can make a lot of money in like a month. You make like $600 a day, 1,000 a day. You make
Ding, 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 ding. This baby is money motivated, right? Go
right.
ahead, carry on.
There you go. Yes, I saw that and I thought, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. So right now, it's going through the process of making those calls to reach that, hopefully.
And you will. And so that's where most people quit. And I tell Caleb all the time, and I tell every other business partner the same thing because I don't treat him any different because he's my son. I love and nurture everybody, right? That's on our team. But I tell them this is when people quit. They quit when it's time to make the calls before they even make a call. Then they quit the minute they get cussed out because they had to pay to get cussed out because you had to buy your lead, right? So now I'm paying to get cussed out. I'm paying for somebody to tell me that they didn't want it, but they filled it out. So you have to have a strong mental countenance around this being a business because there is money to be made and you will make money if you don't quit. It is a numbers game, right? And so what is something that you hope to obtain from the future by way of selling insurance? Like, what are some of your goals or like to haves based on the money that you'll make from selling insurance?
That's cool. Want like a pretty good sized house. What's called somewhere in North Carolina. So a house.
Away from me? Not
I,
in my house. Not in my house. Like another
well,
house.
yeah, another house. Yeah,
I'm
so,
joking.
yeah. Separate house. What's called a new car of some sort. Maybe just yeah, like just how can I word it? Yeah, car, a house. I already need a whole bunch. So car and a house is cool so far. That's how I'm thinking on top of my head. But things
I
like
love
that.
that. So what would you say to another 22-year-old or another 18-year-old or 19 or anybody under 25 that's trying to figure out what they want to do with their lives, where they want to go with their lives? Maybe they didn't finish high school, maybe they did finish high school, maybe they didn't go to college. What would you say to them if they're trying to figure out that way? Should they try life insurance? And would you recommend it to them?
Yeah, I would definitely recommend it because you don't have to have a degree or any insurance, and you can make it, like I said before, like a pretty good amount of money from doing insurance. So I would say, yeah, to definitely try it or look into it.
And do you feel like you've gotten support, not just from me, because I'm your mom, but outside of me on our team? Do you feel like people have been supported? Do you feel like you're creating friendships or receiving guidance and coaching from other people your age?
Yes, I do feel that way. Yes, ma'am.
And what would that entail? Like, give me some examples.
That'd be like, what's an example? Like, say for example, they ask me how I've been doing, like just like on the phone. They ask me how many calls I'm making and what times I'm calling, and just give me tips on like, call earlier or later. So I haven't talked to before. What's there? Tips on the script and how to say certain things, how to just your tone, how to script to hopefully I guess how word have like a better interaction with the potential client. So things like that. Just give me tips and tricks about what you should do better and what you shouldn't do in regards to making phone calls for insurance.
I love it. And the people that are giving Caleb that advice, they're his age, right? I think the one gentleman, he's under 30 or right at 30.
Like,
And then the rest are under 30.
mm-hmm.
And so this isn't an older person's game. It's not a young person's game, but every age can succeed, in this business. And so what's something that you would tell people they need to have to get started, whether it's a good mindset, whether it's good time management or discipline? What are a couple of things you would recommend people have in order to get started and have success, even though you're only a week and a half on the phone, right? You're not new to working in business, but now you're doing it for yourself. What's something you think they need in place?
Yeah, I'll probably say your time management because you can I can write it. You can make a few calls, like maybe like from 10 to 12 or some sort, and only talk to one person. But you still have to make more calls too that you might have it like you might have to change your call schedule from maybe what you 10 to 12, maybe 4 to 6, I don't know, 5 to 8, things like that too, just to get a better chance of to have a richer person.
That's good. So now, how was it? How was the jump from 60 dials to 100 dials?
Oh yeah, that was definitely cheap. Very fast to do. Yeah, to go from 64 to 100 the day after is definitely a lot.
Mm-hmm. So Caleb, because when you're in insurance, it's a numbers game, right? And so what we mean by that is the more, especially when you're new, you have to make a lot of dials. That means every time you hit the phone, ring. Every time you hit the phone, ring, and you have to track it, right? And so if you don't track your dials, then you think that you're not maybe doing great or you're not having success. But the truth is you haven't reached enough people. So I told Caleb, I said, aim for 100 dials. Really, he needs to aim for now 150. But the day that he did 100 dials, he's like, mom. But now so how do you feel about the leads? Let's talk about that. So, because you've called now or dialed through different lead types. How do you feel like just your opinion of the leads?
Yeah, I feel like well, I started off with like older leads, like leads that you give me before. So I don't know how long ago the people filled out the forms. So some people actually, or I guess forgot they filled out forms. That's because of how long that the leads were bought. So the older the leads, maybe the harder it might be to get a sale or get someone on the phone. If you do get on the phone, you might have forgot about what they filled out. But recently, I got some new leads now, and the leads I've called, I think it might be like 40. Now those 40, I might have talked to like so far 13 people. So there's been a lot of people. This whether it be a yes or no, or was it getting hung up on? I'm having some, I guess, some interaction with people as opposed to before. It's the same like 100 calls. He might only talk to 5 people that day.
So that's good. So Caleb is saying that the first batch of leads that he spoke to, they were older. A lot of people love to call older leads. I personally don't. I like high intent leads, right? So a high intent lead is somebody that just filled this lead out or just requested this information within the last 30 to 60 to 90 days. They're going to semi remember what they did versus somebody 6 months ago. I run upstairs and I'm looking at Caleb like, what I come up here for, right? So if I don't remember what I went upstairs for or what I ate lunch yesterday, I don't want to be the person calling older leads. And so that's something that Caleb and I have talked about, and then my other business partners and I talk about too. Invest your money in high intent leads because it does give you more chances at bat with people that is fresh in their mind that they had this conversation. So what's one thing, last thing closing, that you want to share with people that you think has just been a great experience starting out, or just been okay experience, or just what's something you want to share with them before we go?
I think it's been a great experience so far starting out, and that the team around with Senior Life, I feel like they definitely encouraged me a lot and very personable because they people like different rankings, like I guess like top sellers, and they're not how to word it. They don't have ego, so they're really eager to help somebody out that's maybe like a beginner or I guess like intermediate level, and show them tips and tricks of how they got to where they are, and hopefully and they're always supportive, and hope you get to the same level as well and above them.
I love it. And so now, last question. I know I said that was the last one, but I thought of another one while you were talking. Because I ask Caleb this all the time. So, worst case scenario, if things didn't work out in insurance, you could always go get a job, right? And I ask him every day, do you want to go get a job yet? You good? Like, because when your child says they're going to come work with you, you want to make sure they have success. So if you weren't selling insurance, I don't know, that's not the question I want to ask. How do you feel about being your own business owner? Like, I'll ask you that way, right? Because you've seen your dad and I be business owners all these years, but now that you have your own incorporation, right? You have your own music business,
Right.
and you're a 1099 with insurance. How do you feel about being your own business owner?
I like it so far. It definitely can be starting off can be a little slow. I guess they have a lot of not always, but for me it starts a little slow. I have a lot of I guess people looking at me, everything when it comes to like music business stuff too, and insurance. About the same thing too. I'm just kind of starting off. So I feel like it'll definitely like the longer like more post beats and the more I make more calls for people and stuff too, probably the faster and more traction I'll get when it comes to getting sales.
I love it. So if you're young and you're like, hey, I want to work with a younger person, not an older person like his mom, how do people reach you?
You can reach me on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn is Caleb, so it's CALEB Price. You can reach me on what's another thing? My email Price. So it's PRICE period Caleb CALEB 92 at yahoo.com. And you can reach me on my phone number directly too. Is 910-644-4345. And that's
Right. And now, if someone on here is a music fan and a music lover, right? You're a music producer, y'all. His beats are lit. I don't even know if people are saying that anymore. But what is your Instagram for Pinto Sound Factory?
Oh, it's just PROD period PINTO 47. That's where it is.
Okay. But on Instagram, are you Price Caleb, where if they find you before they find the music?
No, I'm not.
Are you Caleb Price?
You mean on Instagram? Like which one? You mean my business account?
Non-music, non-business.
I'm sorry. Non-music account is C Dizzy. It's an old name.
C Dizzy. Okay, so C that in it. Who cares if it's old? CDIZZY. So if you want to follow, I said, who cares if it's old? I like it.
That's good. Yeah. C.
So C Dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
there a number? 92?
No, it's it.
Okay, so see Dizzy on Instagram, and then you can follow him there, and you'll find his music channel there as well. So Caleb, thank you for being here with me on today. I think you're amazing. And even if you weren't my son, I think you're an amazing business partner, and I know that you're going to do great things here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, I'll talk to you soon. God bless you.
You too.
Bye.